Hilarious filmmaker memes have been filling up my social media lately. So I'm going to be reacting to a few of them to see how relatable the experience of being a filmmaker is amongst other filmmakers. Let's dive right in. Ever heard of clientitis? It's one of the most tedious infections you can have as a video editor. You can detect it when the client offers you a bunch of helpful advice on how to do it. Highly contagious and spreads quickly if not stopped on set. Yeah, you get it on the wrist. Right on top, you can just feel the hovering of the client, and then you know you've got the clientitis. Yeah, I've definitely been infected with this ailment. As long as the client is happy and you're getting paid okay and you're gonna get the next job from it, you've got to just kind of suck it up a bit. But yeah, it just feels so freeing, especially for like YouTube videos like this where I am the client, I am the well, I'm not the editor, I work with an editor, but you know, like I am the overlord a little bit. And can choose what I say yes to and what I say no to. What camera would trap you? How to catch a filmmaker? I don't know, maybe an FX3. I mean, I have A7S III, but it would be nice to have the, you know, the FX3 body because it looks pretty sexy. Oh, actually, no, I'm dumb. Why would I do that? I would literally just put the most expensive camera on there, like a Phantom Flex or a Alexa LF or whatever the hell the most expensive resellable cameras, and then sell it, get all that money, then fund it back into cool projects, because having an Alexa just doesn't make sense when you can rent it. And I don't shoot enough Hollywood movies. Never shot a Hollywood movie. Everyone from high school, me working on my script. I like this one. It's very true, yeah. I mean, if you're watching this and maybe you're in your early 20s, you might not be able to relate to this as much, but when you're 30 years old like me and you know, browsing your social media and all the people who you knew from school, you knew from even university, you see the new baby pictures popping up, and then I'm just looking at them like, yep, that's not my life yet, and I'm just gonna be typing away on this script. Or YouTube script from me personally. But yeah, it's very, very relatable. But I'll give you some word of advice. Don't let social media pressure you into when you should and shouldn't have a family, or should and shouldn't do this, or what life you should and shouldn't have. Because it's up to you at the end of the day to work on that script that you never gets made. Oh, look, my cat's here. Or just get a cat, or him rubbing on your microphone. Film students after graduation. I'm Devon, the director, le mise-en-scène. I remember I was obsessed with like the idea of mise-en-scène when I first heard it, and I just thought, oh yeah, the mise-en-scène, if I know this word, if I just say it in any capacity, people will be like, wow, this filmmaker knows what he is talking about. I didn't dress like this guy though, thankfully. I tried to be French. I think if I was French, I probably could have pulled it off. And the fact that he's like, I'm Devon, not even a French name, didn't even like spice his name up, and still he is le mise-en-scène. When you go to bed at 2 a.m. and set an alarm for 7 a.m., Chuck goes, I'm in danger. That's happened a few times for me. I did a shoot before where I came back from London to Manchester. I had to be on set by 5 in the morning maybe, and I got back to the lighting hire company at 3 in the morning, and I lived like a 30-minute hour drive out of Manchester, and I just thought there's just no point driving home. So I called Chris, the guy who ran the lighting hire company. I said, Chris, can I just like sleep here, because I have to be on set in like 2 hours anyway? And then he said, yeah, just whatever, I've done that many times, just sleep on the floor or whatever. So I just got like some black Bolton, which is used to black out windows and stuff, and wrapped myself in it, had a little sleep for an hour and a half, alarm went off, and then I had to go to set. And hilariously, they needed me to be a cameo in the actual video itself, and as you can see here, I look dead. So yeah, the film industry is not for the faint-hearted if you really enjoy your sleep like I do. What's the next step of your master plan? Crossing this project with no save files. Oh, Premiere. The Premiere memes, I always love them. Tell me if you're a Premiere user now and if it's any better than it was 2 years ago, because obviously we all know the memes, we all know the reputation that Premiere had, which is why I left it to go to now DaVinci. But yeah, let me know. I'm curious, is it more stable now? Does Bane get rid of your projects and smash them into the ground with no survivors, with no save files? Yeah, it happened to me a few times in Premiere, and I can't say it's happened to me with DaVinci yet. Aspiring colors, shitty footage, cinematic LUT pack. I have some gripes about people selling LUTs. Like, there are people who do so good looks and can kind of explain to you, you know, it is a way to very easily get your footage to roughly where it needs to be. But if you're trying to use that as a substitute to actually teaching people how to grade from scratch, which I recommend all of you do, then kind of you're missing the point. You're just slapping a filter on it and assuming that it looks good. I use LUTs as well. I use transformation LUTs and I use LUTs for my photo editing, but I always go in and tweak from there before the LUT has been added, because it's never going to look exactly how I see it in my head. So I think it's better if you can do both. But yeah, nothing's going to make up for shitty footage. You have to light well, expose well. Colors can help to some degree, but you're not going to suddenly look like you've shot an Oscar-worthy project if you don't even know how to light it and make it look good when you're there on set. Fix it in post. No, you can fix some things in post, but can't fix your footage in post. When you've received absolutely no details about today's shoot. Yes. It's the face of like, this is going to be an interesting shoot. This has happened a few times where a friend or someone is like, oh yeah, come on set. We got a shoot. Can you help out? Yeah, okay, I'll help out. All right, come on set this time. And then I'm like, are they going to send me a call sheet and I have some details? All I know is what time and where to be. I have no idea what the fuck we're doing other than that. Just winging it like, oh, I guess I know what lights are and also use a camera. When I'm on set, we're going to waste an hour trying to figure out all the stuff that we could have figured out before. Hey, you going to sleep? Yes, now shut up. Are you sure you have enough light for tomorrow's shooting? Yeah. Oh my God. So much anxiety. This is when I was like prepping music video projects, my brain would just be racing. Like, have I got everything? Have I checked my lists, all this stuff? And yeah, my brain would just be racing around envisioning what my lighting plan would look like when I got to set. And to sleep properly, as we know, we need to be relaxed and chill. Filmmaking and cinematography, especially when you're starting, doesn't lend itself to that because your brain is in pure imagination mode a lot and trying to, fix the worst case scenario that might happen. Yeah, I've gotten a lot better since this, but especially if you're traveling somewhere really far with gear, if you forgot one thing, then you're kind of screwed. Hey, can I pay for your cameras with the exposure I have received? Thanks for messaging us. We can try to be as responsive as possible. We'll get back to you soon. Oh, the exposure. That is many a project I have been tempted by. If anybody ever says that, instantly be skeptical. But exposure can work. Like if I got called up from Billie Eilish today and was like, hey Adam, do you want to shoot my next music video? Then I would pay her so that I could get the exposure that would give me. So if the project was actually giving you exposure, they wouldn't even have to say, hey, it's going to be good exposure. It's like, well, it obviously would be if it was for Billie Eilish. So anybody who ever tries to use that as a selling point, most likely charlatans, and they're just like trying to say, hey, come on, it's low paid, but exposure. And it's not even exposure. A lot of it is just networking. Like I've said yes to stuff for free, not because of the exposure, just because it's a director who I maybe like worked on a project with a little bit, but then the DP wants me to be the gaffer, and then I know I can work more closely with him and develop a friendship, and maybe he'll get me on a bunch of other projects because he realizes that I know what I'm doing. So yeah, exposure is kind of BS unless it's, you shoot in big music video for big artists. The rest is pure networking that you need to consider. Get knowing people ASAP. All right, I bet he's thinking about other women. Him, will Premiere Pro ever stop crashing? Yeah, that happens sometimes. I feel like clearly spaced out about something, and Henny will be like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just like worried about this project, and I really want this next update to come for this plugin, but I don't know when it's going to come out, and it would make things really easier. And my volume was out. When you show a client playback and they say they don't like the colors, it's fucking wrong. Yeah, I have to try and explain. Like many times I'll have a monitor up for a client, and then I can tell that they're looking at it with their eyes with the skepticism, like, that's not really look good. And then I have to say, don't worry, it's all flat and horrible, but when it's graded, it's going to look great. Yeah, because they just don't really get it. That grading is a thing. And then we need to shoot log to give them the best image. Just got my new vlogging camera. I love the image as well. This is the glasses and shooting in 2:3:5:1 aspect ratio. Oh, that would be great. Why is someone must have done a YouTube video of shooting a whole vlog like this. I think that would be so funny. Just going around with a red cinema camera. We should do that. It's a good YouTube video idea. Me, I'll fix it in post. Luckily, I don't think I've ever said that on set. Maybe I have and I don't remember. I've definitely been on sets where someone has said, oh, we'll fix it in post, and I'm just there as the gaffer like, really? I mean, mean, you could, but we could just spend an extra 5 minutes fixing it now. But DPs then. I have calculated my exposure values accordingly based on my 50 ASA film and have distributed detailed lighting plots so everybody on my team is on the same page. We will be very efficient on our day of shooting. DPs now. Why am I too bright? Not as bright as the window. And I like the black cap and the black swear. The DPs of old definitely had a way harder time and had to put in way more effort to make something look good than we do now with all the exposure tools and digital cameras that exist now. And yeah, some of the stuff that in my film school days that I did and realized later that was dumb. Like, I didn't even understand white balance in my first year of film school, and like I remember shooting a project, I just didn't get it. I was like, what? Daylight is 56, really? But then if you have a tungsten stock, like, because we shot film in my uni for a few projects, if you put a tungsten thing on it, then how do you correct it and how do you calculate? We don't realize how easy we have it, cinematographers of now. Like, even now, like the gear that exists, and then comparing what I had available at film school, like LED lights, like I'm using aperture lights to light all of light what's going on here. Even this is an aperture light. Look, like this did not exist and I can control it all with an app. If this existed in film school, I would buy really crap early LEDs from Amazon that were like so magenta and green and horrible and you couldn't control them properly and they were never as big as this. So yeah, just film technology has come such a long way in 9 years of when I was in film school, and it's only going to get better and easier. So yeah, you don't know how lucky you have it now if you're in film school. I had to work for my lighting. I had to run over to a light and put a gel on the light to be darker, not like scroll this little wheel and then it could be darker. My movie date, me giving a full film analysis. I've always had this sometimes where if I've gone on a date or watched a movie with a girlfriend or something, and then they say like, what did you think of the movie? I always question in that moment, should I tell her what I think of the movie in like non-filmmaking talk in really simple terms? Do I have to analyze all the story and narrative elements as to why I thought the movie was crap? Only us filmmakers can see this stuff. Didn't receive call sheet. Am I fired or is this production bad? I've had that sometimes. Like the production manager would say to me, oh, I'm gonna send out the call sheets at 7 and then it's 9 and I'm like, should I message her or did they find someone else, or is the shoot not going ahead and am I not gonna be getting any money even though I cancelled my other plans the day after because I was supposed to be doing this shoot? Oh, the psychological torture of freelance work sometimes. Cinematography award, colorist. Oh, the poor colorist. He just wanted to be recognized for sitting in the colorist suite for tens and tens of hours, making the cinematographer's work look amazing. Well, yeah, they don't get as much credit as they should, that's for sure. Shout out to my colorists out there. You guys make what we do look as sexy as it did on set. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably also like this one over here where I cringe at my first ever film projects. Hit that subscribe button because if you don't, you might also end up as an internet meme. Thank you all so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.